It's July 2016 in Taipei, and two men are standing in front of a bank ATM. They aren't trying to blow the machine open, and they haven't even inserted a debit card. One just waits until the ATM starts spitting out a steady stream of banknotes directly into his hands. As they scoop up the cash, 20 other teams are doing the exact same thing at branches across the city. Taipei was a single piece of a 2-year operation where a hacker syndicate known as Carbanak successfully siphoned roughly $1 billion from more than 100 banks in 30 different countries. Securing $1 billion did not require a high-tech brute force assault on the bank's primary firewalls. The entry point was a mundane office in Ukraine. A mid-level bank employee named Maxim is sitting at his desk, drinking coffee, and doing what many of us do on a Tuesday morning, ignoring his pending Windows system updates. An email pops up from a coworker. Attached is a Word document titled Compliance with Federal Law 115. It sounds important, so Maxim clicks it, skims the text, and closes the window, unaware that the file secretly exploited a known vulnerability in Microsoft Word to install a digital backdoor. Global banking networks spend millions building digital fortresses, but those thick walls mean nothing when a single employee's unpatched software leaves the digital backdoor wide open. After bogging down Maxim's computer, IT support is called. An administrator types his credentials, and a hidden keylogger records every keystroke. The hackers test the admin's password on the domain controller, the network's central brain. It works. Controlling the domain controller means you control everything. This pattern repeated quietly for months, until a large Russian bank noticed its core servers were inexplicably routing data to China. They brought in cybersecurity investigators from Kaspersky Labs to figure out why. A Kaspersky specialist starts digging and finds remote access software buried in the server. Realizing the intruders might be watching him live, he opens a blank document and types "hello" in Russian. A few minutes pass. Suddenly, the cursor moves on its own, and the hacker types back in Russian, "You will not catch us." The attackers embedded themselves in the network for months, carefully observing the bank's daily routines to learn exactly how transactions were authorized. After studying the internal plumbing of these financial institutions, the hackers engineered 3 distinct, highly coordinated methods to quietly extract the cash. Their first method bypassed basic accounting checks. Banks verify their internal accounts every 10 hours. To steal funds undetected, they injected a phantom $10,000, then instantly transferred that exact amount out. When the check ran, the bottom line matched perfectly. The second method was the one used in Taipei. The hackers took direct remote control of street-level ATMs, programming them to spit out cash at exact times of the day, right into the hands of waiting operatives, known as money mules, hired by the syndicate. Their third method targeted the core database. This diagram illustrates how the group bypassed the transaction ledger entirely. They opened accounts for their money mules with a tiny balance, like $3.33. Then they simply overwrote the cell to read $1 million. Without a deposit log, no internal alarms went off. Suddenly, the money mules had 7-figure balances. They walked into banks or up to ATMs and drained the newly minted funds using standard debit cards. This approach converted the bank's own trusted automated systems into the mechanisms used to rob them. The digital side of the crime remained invisible, but the physical execution in Taiwan was too loud. When Carbanak commanded dozens of ATMs in Taipei to simultaneously dump millions in cash, the unusual activity alerted local police. The Taiwanese police responded rapidly, combing through hundreds of hours of CCTV footage to track the money mules. Within days, authorities intercepted the operatives at hotels and train stations, recovering 90. He had to convert his Bitcoin into traceable fiat currency, and the authorities followed the paper trail right to his unlocked laptop. Dennis K. was arrested and his assets seized, but the majority of the $1 billion remains missing. The malicious code he wrote is still being used by other criminal groups today. Bringing this back to Maxim and his cup of coffee in Ukraine, it's a stark reminder. $1 billion was stolen from 100 secure institutions because one employee was too distracted to install a 3-year-old Microsoft update. Human complacency remains the ultimate vulnerability.